Cicerado asks, what is your favorite thing about each Exceed season? Something the season did well or excelled at? That's an interesting question. Man. Well, just off the top of my head, without trying to give too deep an answer here. Season 1, what is my favorite thing about Season 1? It's really dedicated to its jank. The thing with Season 1 is, like, you look at a character like Skullman and you're like, man, if somebody released Skullman as a custom character, people would tell them to whip him into shape. And, like, sand down those rough edges. If people released Natali or Miska as a custom, you'd be like, man, no, you can't do this. Your power budget's really uneven. These cards are, like, these effects are templated really badly. You know, Reese is completely insane. Like, you can't make an Exceed ability like Reese's. Vincent's economy doesn't work at all, and also why is Rushdown a boost? That thing is insanely good. Ballot Fixing is a card that can't be printed, right? But there's all the stuff in Season 1 that's, like, really, really stupid. And it's awesome. Like, you go back and you play it, and it helps to teach you the boundaries of, like, what is reasonable in Exceed, because a lot of Season 1 actually works just fine. Like, kits are not internally balanced, but because of how Power Budget works in Exceed, because Exceed is a card game, like, you can have characters where some cards are terrible and some cards are great. And that's really interesting. So it has characters who are really dedicated to whatever it is that they're doing. And, you know, in Season 1, there was no apparent fear of making somebody overpowered or underpowered. They were just trying stuff. Right? So we got Alice, and we got Caden, and we got everything in between. So season 1 was clearly an era of really fearless design, borderline careless design, and, you know, we got some really interesting experiences out of it. It's very extreme in how it handles stuff. Characters are very strongly archetypal in what they are. Season 2, Imogene. But apart from that, the thing that I really love about Season 2 overall is that it's about the end game. Like, I'm often a patient player. Like, I tend to be aggressive and also patient. I tend to be aggressively pursuing a particular end state, but I'm very willing to wait to get there. Like, I'm just always making sure I'm moving in the right direction for it. So Season 2 suits me well, because characters are about building up toward that end state. Imogene less so than several, but Rimless just as much as any. But I actually love neutral play in Season 2, just like I do in Season 1, and for similar reasons. Nothing really makes your life easier when you're playing neutral. When you're both jockeying for an advantage, when you're trying to get yourself in a good position, put the opponent in a bad one. Like, Season 2 doesn't have particularly good boosts most of the time, and Season 1 is just incredibly janky, where there's not a lot of things, there's not a lot of action compression in Season 1 especially. There's a lot of, I have to spend a whole turn to do something that matters, and that's really important. So, Footsies is big in Season 1, neutral is big in all seasons, but it's big in Season 2, and in both cases it's because your characters don't make your life easier. Unless you're Ulrich. But, exceptions. But yeah, Season 2, it's cool that you can have a long-term game plan that has a lot of different pieces, and you don't need all of them, you just need some of them. Season 3 is, it's the mix-up season. Season 3 is more about neutral than any other season. It is characters with a lot of good boosts, and a lot of useful things that they can do all the time to change the board states, to push neutral into their advantage, or to reclaim an advantage that the opponent has taken over. So, Season 3 is awesome for playing what I consider to be one of the main core experiences of Exceed that appeals to me, which is neutral. Yeah, it's extremely solid. It's the fundamental set. It's great that we didn't try to do Street Fighter as Season 1, because we got to have 2 seasons of development before we did Street Fighter, and now Street Fighter is the best fundamental set. I still think that's true. Season 4. And Season 4 is real jank as well. Season 4 has extraordinary personality. That's the big thing about it, right? Tinker Knight is so extreme in his design for what he is and how he does it. Enchantress is equally extreme. Plague Knight is not quite as, but also like pretty extreme in what he is and what he does. Like these characters who are flashy, over the top, and forcing you into a certain play style, or at least trying to. Obviously, you can play them different ways. This is still Exceed, after all. But like characters who can really warp the game and warp every matchup because they just have different rules than everyone else. Like that's interesting. It's a lot of it. Like 10 characters is a lot of that experience, because mostly those are what we do. 2 characters per set, or 1 in the case of Street Fighter. Like there's really only Bison in that mold in Street Fighter. But like a whole set of boss characters is a lot. But it's interesting. Like every character being incredibly matchup warping and incredibly gameplay experience warping is a thing that you can do, and it's a thing that we did. Season 5, Taker. But I think I'll have to decline to answer on Season 5 because that's just, praising myself at that point, which feels in poor taste. Do you have thoughts as for your favorite thing about each season, Zane?
Well, as you said, like Season 1, jank. It's just there's a level. Okay, Belcor into 9. Anybody actually wants to play? Like, if you want to see that, we will definitely do that. And yeah, you'll see the stupidity that is this dumb card. That is Belcor. I believe it's Belcor, right? Or is it?
No, he is the one you're thinking of. You are absolutely thinking of Belcor. Yeah. Belcor,
okay, because I know I went up against Ketchia with that. It was just like, there's a level of stupid that this is, and yeah, like most of the stuff in Season 1, I'm just happy it's not. It's not legal in tournaments. But granted, the best going into the best card of all of Season 2, Eugenia. And you guys can come at me for it. I do not care. It is definitely one of the best. She's definitely one of the best cards, or at least the best waifu of the set, I guess. Because Imogene's just Eugenia is where it's at.
I mean, I don't place Imogene as a contender for best waifu, but she's still my favorite character. I just love the way she plays.
Yeah, no, I mean, it very much. I think it just definitely. Like, one thing about Season 2 is that just all the characters play differently, and it's really fun. Like, I don't think I've ever really not had fun playing dumb, like, these characters at all. Like, Aquis, literally, yesterday we were just going into a boost battle, which was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just...
Aquis Hackman was so funny.
And then you go into, Street Fighter I've never had a bad time with, even though I don't really do well with most of Street Fighter characters, just because it's like, I have a game plan. No, I don't have a game plan anymore. It might be because I play against you a lot, so
yeah.
It
also gives you a lot of flexibility. Like something that I mentioned before is like the way that you play. You tend to really try to focus on what your character's game plan is, and a lot of Season 3 is they don't give you a game plan; they just give you tools, and you have to do something with them. Like. You just have to play Exceed. They don't give you a specific goal.
Definitely for sure. Probably one of my favorites though is definitely Sea Viper, just because of Stylish exists.
Stylish is hilarious.
And it is so dumb. It's amazing, but it's like, especially if you can get like 4 Stylishes in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, back-to-back strikes. Actually, it's really good.
You actually have to do that back-to-back strikes.
Yeah, two different strikes. Yeah, 2 different strikes. But I've seen it like 4 Stylishes in 2 turns. I've absolutely seen.
Oh, it's amazing. And of course you got Dan. Dan is just, wild swing and have fun. Turn brain off. And, yeah. Season 4 is, ugh. I honestly never found anything in Season 4 that I've really liked. Ever. Every time I played a game in Season 4 character, I've just never had a good time. I mean, the only time I think I've come close to it was Shovel Knight.
Wait.
That's Promo Night.
This Promo Night? Yeah, he's not even Season 4. He's Season 2.
Yeah, I know. As I said, it's Promo Night, the one I've really, really liked to play. And then all the other ones, I struggle so hard again with season 4.
That's fair. Have you? Did you play Beheaded?
I have played Beheaded, and I still really struggle with Beheaded.
Okay, that's fair. I just didn't recall.
I think Fight, I don't struggle as much with Fight, but I guess it's just my playstyle. It's just not a lot of... I just don't mesh well with a lot of the playstyles that each one of these characters have, because I just literally every time it's like, it's a slugfest to trying to get through each character, which is really annoying. But season 5 also is really, I will admit, is probably one of my more favorites. But I don't know, it's really right now between 2 and 5. But whenever 2 is no longer legal, that's going to make me very sad.
Yep, you're not alone in that. There's a lot of fans of season 2. I consider 2 and 3 to be the gold standard for design. I obviously hope that I met that standard, but others will be the ones to judge that. But I really love 2 and 3.
But the best thing though, is we're about to do something really fun here. The best thing I would say you added to this was...
yes.
I mean, who cares if you get copyrighted right now?
I mean, I'm not. This segment I might not upload. I don't know. If I do, it'd be a separate video anyway.
Yeah. Okay,
yes.
We'll stop that there. Well, YouTube's gonna love me for that, but hey. But honestly, that's probably one of the fun things that you've added to this stuff here, and just the minor. I would say just the mod itself is really kind of fun, kind of interesting. Especially with the lifestyle choices that you did with here, with what is it, because you did change the coloring, I believe, on here.
Quality of life improvements was the phrase you're looking for.
Yeah, that's the phrase I'm looking for. Yes, the quality of life is just
colorizing the boosts or the stat text in season 2 and season 1 normals.
Yeah, I mean, there's something like that. It's just and then on top of that, having Blaze Blue normals, just the different touches in there. I think it's just really fun.
Yeah,
and being able to have them all there. So. Yeah,
for those not familiar, if you left click, you get the roughly as printed. If you right click, you get a reskinned version. The default is to use your character normals but reskins. So it's again, the whole point of it is quality of life improvements. So the Blaze Blue diverse set, you're gonna have normals that are visually easy to tell apart because they use different characters. So this is the diverse set. It also has Azrael, which is a joke, because he's not in the set. But he's awesome. And then if you
thing is it truly Azrael if he's not green?
If he's not what?
Green.
Yes, it is truly Azrael if he's not green. Next question. And then the alternate... Sorry, this is the reskinned character normals. So you've got your character on all of them, but they're reskinned to be easier to tell apart. And they may not be obvious what I mean by that, so let me pull out the roughly as printed character normals. No, not those. These. So here is the roughly as printed.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, I just made them more colorful. This is largely what I mean when I say optimized for TTS. Especially in a digital environment, being able to quickly tell apart things at a glance. The more differentiated I can make them, the better. So these all have colored borders. These all have the white border. But yeah, I'm glad that you like it. I'm glad that you appreciate some of the things because
especially because I looked at Vi Schwartz and oh my goodness. Boy, it was terrible. Trying to play that on TTS was... Yeah, it took about a half a year. And I was finally able to get into the actual mod, and then it was all in Japanese.
Now translated module.
Yeah.
Fair. Not really an issue that we have to deal with here, or at least English-speaking players don't have to deal with. There is actually, shoot, what is it? I'm gonna say the wrong language now. Korean, I think? Translation using the files from this module that somebody put up not too long ago. which I thought was super cool. Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, no, it's just the different quality of life changes that you have
I think it's great.
in the mod. It's actually pretty great.
Looks like Serato's answers are: Season 1 started cultivating the experience that Exceed is. Season 2 has his favorite design space and making the characters feel unique in building their engines. Season 3, he feels, is the best entry point into Exceed and teaching fundamentals. Season 4 was a refinement of things he left from earlier seasons, although it did lose some of those aspects in translation. And Season 5 he hasn't played yet, but the characters look nice.
I mean, it's BlazBlue. There was, you know.
Yeah, Exodus does good work.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you have characters with great personality.
Mm-hmm.